Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani made his first two appointments for his incoming administration. Dean Fulihan has been tapped as first deputy mayor.
New York City is experiencing a notable shift in its political landscape, and it has residents, business owners, and community members talking. Questions about taxes, housing, and public services are on everyone's minds, and there's an undercurrent of uncertainty about how these changes might affect daily life, property, and long-term plans. Beyond the headlines, the discussion reflects deeper feelings about trust in leadership, fairness, and the city's ability to adapt. People are weighing promises from officials against the reality of city life, thinking about what works, what might change, and how to stay resilient. At its core, the conversation is about finding practical solutions that support stability, protect residents, and keep New York vibrant for everyone who calls it home. Perceptions of wealth and migration. Speculation about wealthy residents leaving New York City dominates the conversation, often fueled by fears of higher taxes or new policies. While some suggest that financial elites are planning to relocate, the reality is more nuanced. Many wealthy individuals own assets tied directly to the city, including buildings, businesses, and properties, making relocation complex and impractical. Moving a business or real estate portfolio is not a simple reaction to minor tax changes. Instead, residents may consider strategic financial planning, such as modifying tax filing statuses, rather than physically leaving the city. Emotional reactions, however, often overshadow practical decisions, as fear and uncertainty prompt public debates. The discussion reveals the gap between perception and reality, highlighting that stability and trust in local leadership significantly influence residents' decisions. Ultimately, the narrative emphasizes that while relocation may be a headline topic, most New Yorkers remain rooted due to long-standing financial and personal commitments. Trust and public confidence in leadership. Trust plays a central role in how residents perceive political changes and make decisions about their future. Many people express skepticism about new leadership, especially when promises or policies seem ambitious or untested. This lack of confidence can amplify feelings of instability, prompting speculation about the city's direction, and the viability of policy proposals. Residents' trust is shaped by past experiences with government, interactions with local officials, and perceptions of transparency. When people believe that authorities prioritize political agendas over community needs, anxiety and uncertainty increase. Conversely, clear communication, visible action, and consistent engagement can strengthen trust and reassure residents. The discussion demonstrates that governance is not just about policy execution, but also about cultivating a sense of reliability and accountability. Building this confidence is essential for encouraging constructive civic participation, fostering neighborhood cohesion, and ensuring that residents feel supported during periods of change. Housing policies and rent freezes. Proposed housing policies, including rent freezes and city intervention in failing properties, generate significant discussion and concern. Residents and landlords alike weigh the implications of such measures, trying to reconcile affordability with sustainable management of housing. Stock rent freezes aim to protect tenants from sudden increases, but they also pose challenges for landlords who must maintain properties amid rising costs for materials and labor. City intervention in neglected buildings can provide temporary relief, yet long-term solutions require careful planning and adequate funding. The debate highlights the delicate balance between tenant protections and property management, emphasizing that both groups are affected by housing decisions. Public discussion reflects the importance of transparency, clear guidelines, and collaboration among residents, landlords, and city agencies to prevent unintended consequences while ensuring safe and functional housing for all challenges in public housing management. Public housing in New York City faces ongoing operational challenges, including infrastructure issues and delayed repairs. Residents report difficulties such as inconsistent heat, water, or gas services, creating daily hardships and raising concerns about living conditions. City agencies managing these buildings often navigate complex bureaucracies, safety regulations, and funding limitations, which can slow repairs. Meetings and communication with residents aim to address problems, but transparency is crucial to maintain trust. community members emphasize the emotional and practical toll of unresolved issues, highlighting that housing quality directly affects quality of life. Solutions require a coordinated approach that balances safety, resource allocation, and timely maintenance. By addressing public housing challenges thoughtfully, the city can improve residents' living conditions, build trust in local governance, and foster stronger community resilience. Public transportation and accessibility efforts to make public transportation more affordable are central to discussions about city services. Proposals to reduce or eliminate fares on buses and subways aim to improve access for residents who rely on public transit daily. However, challenges include funding gaps, operational capacity, and ensuring safety for all passengers. Effective implementation requires collaboration between city officials, transportation authorities, and the state government. Public debate reflects concerns about cost sustainability, service reliability, and equitable access. Residents highlight that transportation is not only a matter of convenience, but also a key factor in economic mobility, job access, and community connection. Balancing affordability with operational efficiency is essential to maintaining a functional transit system that meets the diverse needs of New Yorkers without compromising safety or service quality. Economic impacts and business concerns. Policy changes in the city have a direct influence on local businesses and the broader economy. Entrepreneurs and business owners consider rising costs, regulatory shifts, and potential impacts on property management when planning operations. Speculation about migration of wealthy individuals further complicates perceptions of market stability. Businesses must adapt to evolving city regulations, housing policies, and economic pressures, balancing profitability with community engagement. The cumulative effect of uncertainty, policy experimentation, and infrastructure challenges can influence investment decisions, employment opportunities, and the availability of services. Discussions emphasize that economic health is closely tied to governance, public trust, and effective management of city resources. Sustainable solutions involve collaboration between business leaders, policymakers, and community organizations to ensure that economic stability supports both residents and commercial activity. Historical perspective on immigration and civic engagement. New York City's history as a hub for immigrants provides context for understanding current debates. Past waves of newcomers arrived seeking opportunity, contributing to the city's economy and cultural fabric. Many instilled a strong sense of civic duty, participating in military service and community development. Historical narratives highlight the importance of gratitude, civic engagement, and shared investment in the city's growth. Understanding this context underscores the value of fostering inclusive participation and respecting the contributions of all residents. Discussions about current political leadership and public perception reflect broader concerns about civic responsibility, integration, and the role of newcomers in shaping city policies. Emphasizing historical lessons helps frame contemporary debates in a way that values both tradition and innovation. Youth engagement and civic education. Engaging younger generations in civic awareness and education is critical to shaping informed communities. Residents and educators emphasize the importance of teaching practical knowledge about governance, economics, and social responsibility. When young people understand the implications of policy decisions, they can participate constructively in civic life rather than making choices based on incomplete information or emotional reactions. This approach also encourages critical thinking, respect for differing perspectives, and informed decision-making in local elections. Civic education serves as a bridge between historical context and contemporary challenges, helping the next generation navigate complex urban issues while promoting sustainable community development. By fostering knowledge and engagement, residents can build resilience and ensure that city policies reflect informed public input. Community trust and government accountability. Maintaining trust between residents and city authorities is a recurring theme in public discussions. Transparency, communication, and responsiveness are essential to prevent misunderstandings and foster confidence in governance. Residents value open access to information about housing, safety, and public services, while government agencies face challenges in balancing operational efficiency with public scrutiny. When trust erodes, speculation and anxiety can grow, influencing decisions about housing, business, and long-term residency. Building accountability requires consistent follow-through on promises, proactive problem-solving, and opportunities for residents to participate meaningfully in local decision-making. The narrative highlights that trust is not only a social expectation, but also a foundation for effective governance, community cohesion, and sustainable urban development. Housing affordability and resident well-being. Affordability in housing remains a pressing concern, influencing both daily life and long-term planning. Rent freezes, building interventions, and public housing initiatives are designed to protect residents, but they also raise questions about sustainability and resource allocation. Residents highlight the emotional and financial strain caused by inadequate living conditions, while city officials work to balance policy goals with practical realities. Ensuring that affordable housing meets safety and quality standards is essential for physical well-being and community morale. Open dialogue, resident participation, and strategic planning contribute to solutions that are equitable and effective. Focusing on affordability within a framework of responsible governance helps maintain neighborhood stability, supports local economies, and ensures that New Yorkers can live with dignity and security, balancing policy ambitions with practical realities. City policies often reflect ambitious goals aimed at improving access, equity, and fairness. But practical realities can complicate implementation. Housing, transportation, and public services require resources, coordination, and long-term planning to be effective. Residents observe the gap between promises and execution, which can create frustration or doubt. Policymakers must anticipate challenges, engage stakeholders, and adapt strategies to ensure that initiatives achieve intended outcomes. Balancing ambition with feasibility requires clear communication, transparent decision-making, and flexibility to respond to unexpected challenges. A measured approach builds confidence in leadership while addressing community needs, highlighting the importance of careful planning in fostering sustainable progress for the city as a whole. Public safety and city infrastructure. Maintaining safe, reliable infrastructure is crucial to community well-being. Concerns about building maintenance, transportation systems, and public services directly affect residents' daily lives. Proactive planning, inspection, and investment are necessary to prevent hazards and ensure smooth operation of essential services. Residents' experiences with infrastructure issues, such as delayed repairs or service interruptions, influence perceptions of city management and effectiveness. Transparent communication about challenges and solutions helps maintain trust, while coordinated efforts between agencies ensure that resources are used efficiently. Focusing on infrastructure integrity and public safety strengthens community confidence, reduces anxiety, and supports the overall quality of life for New Yorkers, economic sustainability, and community resilience. Sustainable economic policies are essential for long-term stability in New York City. Residents and businesses alike depend on predictable regulations, fair taxation, and reliable public services. Economic health is intertwined with housing, transportation, and social programs as these elements influence employment, mobility, and quality of life. Policies that balance protection for residents with incentives for business growth foster a resilient urban economy. Community resilience is reinforced when city leadership demonstrates competence, transparency, and responsiveness. By prioritizing both economic and social sustainability, New York can maintain its role as a dynamic, diverse, and thriving city that supports residents across income levels and backgrounds. Education and civic literacy. Investing in education and civic literacy equips residents with the tools to navigate complex policy environments. Understanding the effects of taxation, housing policy, and public programs empowers individuals to make informed decisions. Civic education also promotes engagement, critical thinking, and responsible participation in local governance. By fostering awareness of historical context, economic principles, and social dynamics, communities become better prepared to advocate for solutions that balance fairness, equity, and sustainability, Education strengthens the social fabric, encourages informed debate, and ensures that future generations contribute thoughtfully to the city's ongoing development. Building long-term solutions through collaboration. Sustainable improvement in New York City requires collaboration among residents, policymakers, educators, and local institutions. Short-term interventions can provide temporary relief, but lasting stability depends on addressing root causes, including housing challenges, economic pressures, and civic engagement gaps. By working together, communities can create strategies that are equitable, feasible, and reflective of residents' needs. Open communication, shared responsibility, and consistent follow-through build trust, foster resilience, and create meaningful progress. The path forward involves incremental change, informed planning, and collective effort to ensure that the city remains vibrant, inclusive, and responsive to the needs of all its residents.